Howdy boyos. In today's video I'm going to cover the 10 best stunt races in GTA Online. This is all subjective, of course. It's a ranking video and everyone's entitled to their opinions. So if you don't agree with me, that's okay. Some people are just born with bad taste and it'd be like that sometimes. This video won't include the hot ring circuits, bike races, or transform races, and let's not waste any more time and hop right into it. At number 10, we have the supercar race Chiliad. There isn't all that much to this race aside from the super hectic start and lots of airtime, but who doesn't love jumping from the highest point of the map in their car? There's some attempts to add props like bowling pins and tubes, but they honestly don't add that much to the map. It's kind of just fun to hold W and go flying. Number 9 on our list is Green Machine, a supercar race that starts off really strong with all of the massive wall rides, but it kind of does teeter off towards the second half of the track because you just hold W and you're not going downhill or anything, so it's kind of boring. The map does split itself into long straights and cool wall rides, and there's a section with a bunch of turns, but it still does feel like it's better to use higher top speed cars in this map. Overall, it's a decent map. At number 8, we have Racing Alley, a sports race with a lot of typical stunt additions like ramps, rings of fire, bowling pins, tubes and barricades. The map itself is super immersive because it has a chaotic bowling stunt devil kind of theme and it makes it a lot of fun. The races on here are always pretty hectic, but they're fun because the chaos fits the vibe of the map. There's a lot of shortcuts that you can take on here, like skipping ramps, and you need to have good cornering abilities so that you don't overshoot the really thin track, which does add some skill to the track. So overall, great race for both casual and competitive racers. For number 7, we have Trench 2, which is a muscle car race. This might be a hot take, but I think this race is actually pretty excellent. It highlights the skill you need to be able to take lines in muscle cars because of their slippery handling, and that kind of gets shown in the turns. But the map also has some little shortcuts you can take advantage of if you're skilled enough to weasel your car into the tight spots of the map where the shortcuts are, like between the ramps, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Overall, the map isn't too overbearing with obstacles, but offers enough for you to get ahead if you can manage to dodge them with your slippery handling, and it's kind of just a flex to be good at this race because muscle cars are hard to control. 6 from the top, we have the Supercar Race Gauntlet. The visuals for this race are absolutely stunning because you make an epic climb to the sunset sky and then you fall from it with style. The climb isn't all that impressive aside from the visuals because you kind of have to rely on the green booster pads to keep your speed up, and it just makes it it just doesn't feel like your car's doing all that much, you know? But once you enter the tunnels, you kind of just start to go flying, and it's a lot of fun. There's also a lot of points in the map where you can skip or brake before ramps and it'll decrease your air time, which allows you to get ahead with your wheels on the ground. There's also tech for sliding across the brake pad towards the end of the map, which allows you to drive down the tube faster, making your descension much quicker. And overall, it's a super fun race in my personal opinion. Again, great for both casual and competitive racers because of the tech that you can take advantage of. Entering into our top 5, we have H200, a sports race with a beautiful white and blue aesthetic that's really fitting considering it takes place above the ocean. Being able to corner well and not get too eager with top speed are skills that are highlighted from the track's layout. And I think the coolest part about the map is that you're introduced to a new skill that few other maps have, which is avoiding water. You can avoid getting caught in waves by riding up the sides of tubes, but sometimes the waves will just come onto the track and sweep your car away, which is just makes it a little more random and fun, you know? And the race gives you that sense of accomplishment when you finish a clean run because it does punish pretty hard for those who aren't thinking ahead. At number 4, we have the Supercar Classic Canyon Crossing. This race has always been so fun, being able to race through the canyon, but it does punish poor positioning from ramp takeoffs and rewards good landings because they usually lead into more turns. The map is balanced between sectioning the track into different terrains such as tubes, regular just stunt track, jumps, and some highway roads are also incorporated in there. And it just feels like you've completed like a journey when you finish. It's pretty cool. There's so many things to utilize in the map, and the different environments allow for a variety of skills to shine, like positioning, like I mentioned earlier, to boosting, decreasing your air time, and cornering, of course. Now, the first of our top 3 is Pier Race, another supercar race that highlights skilled racing in my opinion. Lots of corners to tackle, a lot of curbs to boost on, tubes to take advantage of, and just random little obstacles to avoid. The track kind of seems to assist whatever you're doing. So for example, there's a corner section and it's kind of at like an upward angle, which helps you not need to slow down when you enter the turn. And then it transitions really smoothly into a downhill straight after you exit the turn before it enters a tube. So it all just flows really well. It's so buttery. The drive feels really smooth, and there's even a shortcut you can make on one of the loops, which is really satisfying to hit in the middle of a race. And I absolutely love this track. I feel like I'm always breaking personal bests on this one in particular, so the dopamine hits from this one are pretty nutty. Coming in second is another OG supercar stunt race, Plummet. This map is so beautiful because of how simple it is. You just go down a straight really, really fast. You barely have to let go of W, and your screen shakes from like how dummy fast you're going. Some cars that aren't anywhere close to being in the top 10, like racing cars, are viable here because you can win off of just top speed, which is fun because you see some niche picks like the Pfister 811 and the Adder that have really high top speeds, but are kind of not so great in the corners. There is a little bit of awkward corners on the race, but the race finishes really strong, so it's not really anything to complain about. The only thing I could suggest to make the race better is some cars can overshoot the first checkpoint after the tunnel because of how fast they're going or because of slipstream, but it's highly unlikely that's going to get fixed, so don't get scale gapped falling for those. And last but not least, the best stunt race in all of GTA Online is East Coast, which is a supercar race that takes place on the water. This race feels the most authentically like an actual race, but with some added stunt element. Cornering is definitely the meat of the burger in this race, and not being able to corner well will probably result with you swimming with the fishes. So controlling speed over ramps as to not overshoot the track, and taking advantage of tube boosting, understanding the waves in certain portions of the map are all skills to master from this track. Finishing a clean lap on this track is super satisfying, and the skill ceiling I think is really high for a perfect race, which makes it the best track. That's all I have for this top 10. I hope you guys enjoyed the idea because I don't feel like I've seen this anywhere else on YouTube really, or at the very least not recently, since Cunning Stunts is an older DLC and it's not talked about very much. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed this video, comment down below and let me know what your guys' thoughts are of my list, what you'd add or replace, which ones are your favorites, which ones you hate, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Yaga!